I think a lot of questions people have is online church really church? Is this a final destination?
Yeah.
Where are you driving people to? What is your philosophy? What is the church's philosophy on what's the end point? What's the end goal?
That is a good question. And people ask me that all the time. Like, well, is church online real church? And it's like, well, is community real community? And
Yeah.
that's what we're pushing, right? So if you live in one of our, 6 kind of areas in Southwest Virginia or Tennessee, we would love for you to get connected with a physical campus.
Yeah.
But there are lots of people in our area, people in the world who don't have that. Right. And so my thought is a virtual community is a million times better than no community.
Yeah.
Right. Because we live in a really connected world, but that doesn't mean that we have closeness, right? There's not community, even if you're connected. So just because there are 2 billion people on Facebook, that doesn't mean you're connected to anybody.
Yeah.
And so what we want to offer with HF Online is not a church replacement, is not a, don't go to a physical campus. If you don't live near Highlands and we could be a next step for you to get into a community, man, that's a win, right? Go and do and serve and be there. But there are lots of people who are far from God, who are upset about the church, who have been hurt by the church, right? That's a real thing. And going to a location seems like overwhelming to them. And that's a reality in anyone's area. And so watching service online is a lot less, daunting to somebody. And so if we can provide that for people, that's a win, right? So is online church the same thing as a physical campus? No. But is there legitimacy to that? Definitely, because I think there are plenty of steps between becoming a, someone who is serving, who's involved in small groups and not going to church, right? That's a big chasm that it's easy to forget about. Like, well, people just should come to church. Like, well, yeah, that would be awesome, but they're not. So what can we do to help bridge that gap, to help, and our thing at Highlands is just all about helping people take their next step in following Jesus. So for the online campus, that's as easy as like, hey, why don't you just sit in your pajamas and watch the service?
That's great.
That's a pretty low bar, compared to get dressed, get your family here, find directions. Like, you could just watch it online.